Q&A session. This is for $20 Nut patrons. We're going to be answering your questions. They can get really wild. I think we're actually going to start with a creative one that's been going on for several months now. The last of the castle questions. This is from Alexander. He says, "Greetings from Russia. This is my final castle-themed question. It's a regular night, and Jones is doing his favorite thing, climbing the towers. But when he climbs the tallest one, he sees not just lovely hills, a river, and a sea in the distance, but also a huge army, which is clearly going to storm the castle. While waking everyone up, Jones, for some unknown reason, can't stop thinking about Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So when every last ally has gathered in the Grand Hall, Jones tells them that their best chance is bleeding effect, which means using their best gaming skills to defeat the incoming horde. And knowing that diversity is often the key to victory, Brandon reminds everyone that they don't have to rely on only action skills. So if Don wants to build something, he's more than welcome to. What will everyone do in this epic battle, and what will everyone's heroic feat, if any, be? If you decide to sacrifice yourself or the castles, try to do so in the most glorious way."
So this is the end. We don't win this battle.
Wow. I buy everyone time by charging head first.
Well, yeah, your hero's going berserk for sure.
With a battle axe, riding a bear.
Is that your game skill you're bringing in? Charging in to die?
Yep, exactly.
I guess it doesn't say that we lose, that we can sacrifice ourselves.
But because this is the final castle question, I don't think we win.
That's a way to read it, I guess.
Damiani's got to figure out the enemy army meta. Like, Damiani's got to just take a look at the army and figure out what they're doing. Like I just imagine Damiani looking at the battlefield and just being like, of course. You know, just seeing like all of them like charging and screaming and just like, he's already got it figured out.
Put those Fire Emblem tactics to work.
Exactly.
I'd want to like, I don't know, like Minecraft it, like tunnel under the ground outside and just like let them all just drop into a huge pit outside the castle.
Oh, that's pretty cool. There's a scene in the enemy general's tent. They dragged me in, and they said, "This one says he has something to offer."
Yeah.
And the enemy general says, "No negotiations," and they slit my throat.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Jeez. I'm just gonna parry everyone like Dark Souls, and I'm just gonna die.
Lots of dodge rolls.
I'm just gonna die of exhaustion.
Mid dodge roll.
Yeah.
I think that having never cast magic before, I think I'm just going to attempt to. I'm gonna make like a circle, a summoning circle. I'm gonna try to summon a creature, and I don't know if it's successful or not. They might just like kill me as I do nothing.
We have everyone in here.
Damiani.
We got everybody.
But I mean the viewers.
No, we need to. I need to post this on Patreon. I just forgot.
That was a YouTube exclusive question.
That was a YouTube exclusive question.
Oh man.
No one saw that live. All right. I'm going to go ahead and while I'm posting this, go to our next question. Unless Damiani, you wanted to add something.
I was going to say, as one of the soldiers hits me with their sword, I would just like look at them and complain about that was bad hit detection. But then I fall over and die anyway.
The end of our castle. It's so sad.
Had a good run.
All right. Our next question is from Matthias. Hi, allies. I finally started watching anime that's been on my backlog for so long. Cowboy Bebop in all caps. Watching this made me remember and be grateful that at the age of 8 years old, a local channel in my country decided to air 2 shows that would change my life at Saturday morning. This was the time that alongside my normal cartoons like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, and Batman, I watched 2 shows called Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing. I might have watched Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Before this, but these were the shows that made me realize this is something different. Whether it was the design, the animation, or dialogue, you could just feel there was something special, and I've been grateful ever since. Allies, what were the shows that did it for you, and what anime do you still have in your backlog that no one will believe you haven't watched yet?
Which shows did it for us, like anime?
Yeah. It doesn't. It says which shows. It doesn't specify anime, but then it says which anime in your backlog will no one believe you haven't watched.
I think people believe there's a lot of anime I haven't watched.
Right.
They'll believe it.
Yeah, I mean, It was obviously for me. It was Cowboy Bebop as well. But to add on to that, it was also right after that I was shown Escaflowne. So I was kind of given this like 1-2 hit of like, ooh, Cowboy Bebop, pretty pop culture references, a little bit more mainstream, and then into like full on fantasy with like Escaflowne and mechs and stuff. I was like, all right, this stuff can be pretty cool and diverse. Backlog, but I don't know if I'm ever really gonna get to it. But any Dragon Ball, like I've never seen any full episodes of Dragon Ball Z. For those who don't like watch our streams and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know
I haven't seen any Dragon Ball either.
Yeah, I've never seen any GT or Dragon Ball Z. I've seen
You don't need
half.
to watch GT.
I've seen half of the original Dragon Ball series though. That's about as much as I've seen.
So that's Damiani, Blood, and Jones all haven't seen Dragon Ball Z.
That sounds like a show to me.
That's a show.
Yeah, that sounds like a show.
Definitely was never seen into it. But
My goodness.
Wow.
personally, okay,
But-
so there's different tiers to my story. So personally, the first thing I ever saw was the butchered American version of Nausica, which I saw as a kid and loved it, and just like anything else that you had as a kid, like Ninja Turtles or He-Man or whatever, like daydreamed about it and all that. But at that time, like anime wasn't a thing that I was aware of in any sense whatsoever. So I guess like the first things to really kind of get me into watching anime for the time that I did, now that I don't really do it that much, was my now wife, who was just a friend at the time. We watched through a series called Kimagure Orange Road, which is an 80s anime. It's more of like a romantic comedy with psychic power elements. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is that how you became more than friends?
Not exactly. I mean, we did a lot of stuff together.
Okay,
still,
that's
like-
pretty cool.
Still like a couple of years after that we actually started dating.
For me,
All
I
right.
was in Oh, go ahead, Brad.
No. Go ahead.
I was in 4th grade, and my friend Brent had a van with a TV in it. And it was the coolest thing I had ever seen when I was in 4th grade.
Yes, I remember this.
TV like in his car with like a VHS player, and that was the first time I watched Akira. Was in that van,
Cool.
and that changed my life. And then I can remember watching like Dragon Ball Z at his house as well. He would put it on. I would like, because when you're young, you do like sleepovers and play games and stuff. We used to play Nagano Winter Olympics on PS1.
Wait,
And
still
then-
in the van?
No. And then
I bet that'd be pretty good in that van.
we used to play Nagano Winter Olympics and then watch Dragon Ball Z.
Sick.
Yeah. My brother had a friend that would go to Japan every summer to visit his grandparents, and his grandparents would record Dragon Ball off TV for him. So he would bring it back for us, and we'd watch just Japanese cartoons in Japanese and have no idea what's going on.
And there would still be like the time in the upper corner and everything?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, Brad, I remember this.
That's
'cause
so
didn't
cool.
Didn't you have like some of the movies?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a bunch of the Dragon Ball Z movies.
Oh
And
my
they were
God, I
entirely in
remember that.
Japanese, no subtitles.
Yeah.
Yes.
It didn't even matter. It was so cool.
That's so hardcore, Brad.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Dude.
The backlog thing is I have not seen all of the original Gundam.
I haven't really seen any Gundam. I'll second that.
Ooh, we got to do some Gundam.
Yeah, I got some Gundam.
Yeah, we got Gundam up.
Let's do it, dude.
I
Go ahead,
Go
Ben.
ahead. The first anime I ever saw, it was I wish I could revert back to this time, was Sailor Moon as a very young kid, and I didn't know what anime was, but I remember really liking the style and the music, and then feeling guilty about it. Like I couldn't tell anybody that I liked Sailor Moon because it was marketed toward girls, but I was really into it. I liked it a lot, and I had like neighbor kids that were also into it, and we would just go and like that's how we became friends as we talked about Sailor Moon. But the one that like got me on the hook was Fooly Cooly because I also watched that at like a pretty young age, and I remember just how exciting it was to watch. It was confusing to me at the time, but I I couldn't
Ben,
believe that
it's not at
television.
the time. It's confusing to you now, I'm sure.
Well, I've rewatched it several times.
Okay.
And it's less confusing to me now because I mean, like that first time, I had no idea what it was even trying to go for, and like it was so exciting to watch, and the music was awesome, and that is what really kickstarted anime for me. But then Cowboy Bebop solidified it for sure. There's a lot of anime that like I'm sad I haven't watched. Code Geass I haven't seen any of.
Oh, Akashic Records.
Akashic Records of Bastard Magic Instructor. You know your anime when your own title has filler in it. And
did we post the link to everybody?
oh yeah, God damn it! I'm off God damn it!
What's the Brad? What is it? Macross? It has like Kyle Hunter or whatever. Like
Rick Hunter.
Rick Hunter. Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. Robotech, no one here.
Robotech. There we go. Sorry, Robotech. That was my.
Hunter.
That was my first. That and the Record of Lotus War, which came up in a group stream, I think. Somebody sent us that.
Hey, should we create a new? I know this is super rude, but should we create a new hangout for the 20 and up people?
I feel where you're coming from, but it's totally my mistake, and so I don't know the people that are watching. Yeah, the people that are watching it didn't do anything wrong. So if it's now $20 and up.
Okay.
But if you're here and you got in, ride that
It's all
wave.
good.
What's your story? What's your anime story, Kyle?
It's very similar to this person where it was like Pokemon and Digimon and Monster Rancher, I think all happened like around the same year. And you kind of dip your toes in those. And like Monster Rancher sucked and I couldn't get into it.
Dude, what?
Digimon rules and I got super into it, and so with Pokemon. And so it's weird to think of a time where you're like not sure if Pokemon's going to be good or not, you know what I mean? And that's kind of an interesting time. But then of course DBZ, and then like some stuff on like late night Adult Swim, like Paranoia Agent was really huge. But I guess I didn't like truly love anime until like Queen's Blade. And then for like backlog stuff that I haven't really filled in yet, this is real. I haven't seen any Studio Ghibli movies except for Ponyo. Ponyo's the only one I've seen. And so that's
Ponyo's
really
cool.
weird.
Like a stream.
Yeah.
That sounds like a show, Kyle.
That's a show.
Yeah.
Dude, Kyle.
I really
Kyle!
like to watch Totoro.
It's a gift, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
Totoro is playing in theaters like tomorrow.
Tomorrow and tomorrow Monday.
Dude,
yeah.
for the next 6 months, for one weekend a month, for 6 months, the theaters are gonna have 6 Studio Ghibli movies.
Okay, let's do it, baby.
So
Wait, isn't that part of the promotion we're doing?
Yes.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
do it. We gotta
Good
do
job,
it,
Humor.
Kyle.
Okay.
Tell it, baby.
Queen's
Okay.
Blade was a super funny joke, by the way.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't
Wow.
get it.
All
Wow.
right. Okay.
Wow.
It's fine. It's fine.
What is Queen's Blade?
Oh gosh.
Our next question
Someone's
comes in
coming.
from Adam. He says, "Hey, Allies, my question is regarding the current trend of cinematic universes. Marvel and DC are currently going toe-to-toe, and Universal have recently announced their Dark Universe. My question is, do you see this trend transferring to the games industry? Naturally, this could lead to some interesting places. The best example I can think of is a new Silent Hill where the main character is called Belmont. Do you think there will be more gaming universes colliding in the future, or more gaming universes like cinematic universes in the future?"
No, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love that.
I'd love to see EA do that. Love to see a bunch of their sports franchises and stuff kind of have more synergy.
Ubisoft
Madden
has
versus
teased-
Dead Space? What?
No, but stuff like Need for Speed, like just stuff sports like. It's like having them set in the real world where like you could unlock stuff in one game that would unlock content in another game, and the achievements would maybe be synced, or like, I don't know, baby steps.
Ubisoft has teased connections with Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. I always thought that was really cool.
Oh,
So if like those end up merging, and then you throw in
Huh.
like, all you'd have to do is throw in like Sam Fisher, and you got a universe there.
just say, when you said Ubisoft, I was like, man, no, one of the next Assassin's Creeds will just have you going back and it's Prince of Persia when you go back. Like you're just playing as like the prince.
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, dude. You throw in Prince of Persia, you throw in Sam Fisher.
Just naturally drop some Sam Fisher in there.
That Watch
All of
Dogs,
it.
Huber, do you remember that Watch Dogs 2 mission where you like hacked Ubisoft?
Yes.
What do we know what that video was yet? I got to go back and watch it and see if it was like Starlink or BGV2
Yeah, it was
or what.
just like it was weird, like satellites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Funny.
I feel like they've done crossovers that are really good ideas, but the games themselves haven't been very good. Like Project Cross Zone has so many things that I love in it, but I don't really enjoy playing that game. Like,
I never played it, but I always had that perception. It's sort of a letdown.
so I just want that. I want all of those characters. I want Dante and X and Kazuma, but in like a 9 out of 10 video game, maybe made by Platinum. I don't
Dude,
know.
Ben, that thing we got tweeted where it was Persona across Yakuza.
Yeah,
The
Oh.
dream.
that would actually
Actually,
make some kind of sense. Like you could totally put the social link system into Yakuza. And, like, can you imagine building up the Majima social link?
Dude, and it's both Sega / Atlas. I mean, that's just begging to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody in our live chat said it's a bit annoying that crossovers are almost always fighting games. And I like, yeah, I feel you. I like fighting games, but I think they could be a little bit more adventurous with some of that stuff for sure. Any other cross-ups that people want to see before we move on to the next question?
Evil Within cross Resident Evil.
Hubert, come on, man.
I don't know.
What would that play? You just want to see Sebastian, because what I'm thinking of is like Evil Within is gameplay wise is so similar to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So gameplay wise it wouldn't be that dramatic, but I guess it would be very cool seeing Sebastian and like Leon
It would be cool if
together.
somehow you like one of the worlds that Sebastian went into was like the Spencer Mansion or like Raccoon City or something.
Yeah,
Wouldn't make any sense, but if they found a way to do it,
it's just another dream, man. Just in the mind of Wesker or something.
the mind of Wesker.
Oh man, I wish we can get like a Shovel Knight crossover with Mega Man X or something.
Yeah.
Want.
Yeah, those Shovel Knight devs, whatever you can throw at them.
Yeah.
Whatever they're selling, I'm buying.
Our next question comes in from Rebecca. Hey there, lovelies. What real-world animal would you like Mario style to Mario style possess and just hang out as for a day? Yes, you'd be wearing a cute hat and a mustache, and yes, other animals may find this odd.
Can I touch on that last question real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
So what I thought was super interesting in the Spider-Man talk from Brian Intihar, the creative director, he said that in response to people asking, like, is this going to be part of a new Marvel game shared universe? He said, no. He said, no, that would be too hard to pull off. It would take too much collaboration. Like, I just think video games, it's way harder to pull that thing off. And that to me was like reassuring that each game is going to be allowed to be its own thing because each game needs to be. I think you don't just for a video game write a script and go and shoot it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of discovery and figuring things out. And for that reason, I think, I'm sorry, I just caught Shovel Knight at the end. That's much more likely, but with like huge games, with like huge ideas and things like that, I think crossovers are super unlikely to ever happen.
I think Rocksteady though could do it with Batman. Like Rocksteady could do a Superman game or a Wonder Woman game, and then you start like throwing all these characters in there together. I think they're in a position where they could do it, but like you said, Kyle, you don't just like write it. I feel like that series has just naturally ended at a point now where it could happen. So, but yeah, other than that, I don't really see it.
All right, sorry. I would like to throw my hat onto, I guess like a subway train that could go through tunnels because I love tunnels.
It's
Whoa,
an
that's
animal.
a crazy animal.
Oh, it has to be an animal?
Yeah.
It did specify animal.
There's so many other things that Mario throws his hat on.
Animal
I'm
Boston.
just reading the questions, man.
Okay, sloth. Are you happy now? It's a sloth.
I would actually. I'd like to go for probably like an owl, hawk, eagle, one of those. Just not only because of the mobility and the flight, but I really like the fact that they can see things that we can't see, and I'm really curious what that would be like.
Wow, good answer.
Like a hawk can see through the glare on the top of the water. Like it just sees fish. It doesn't see the surface of the water so much. And like the owl see in the dark and everything.
Dude, owls are cool.
I want to use the hat on a platypus, and because we can only do it for a day, I would just spend that day making sounds. And so the next time I was on the Easy Guys podcast, I would have that shit on lock. Like I would give the most beautiful platypus sound you could imagine.
I think I'd pick a toucan and just hang out in the rainforest all day, living up paradise. Or gorilla.
Nice.
Gorilla would be sick. Walk around, just go.
Oh my god.
I think a toucan would have a similar thing in mind. Like that's like because they can see like like them and ducks. They can see almost all the way around their heads. What the heck is that like?
There's this video of a gorilla playing in a pool right now, and
It's amazing. It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I need to see this.
Yeah, gorilla bath maniac. Do it.
Well, here's the thing, guys, is like you read the comments on Reddit, and it turns out like he's not having fun playing in the pool. He's doing that to intimidate other gorillas. Like that's his actual instinct. And so that gorilla thinks he's intimidating people by like splashing around. And we as stupid humans go like, oh, look, he's having fun. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I haven't seen it, but I'm skeptical.
What if no gorilla thinks it's intimidating? They just think he's an idiot.
That's Brad. The other weird thing is they are intimidated by that.
We should do that more in group streams. Just like hit each other, hit ourselves, just to get the point across.
Splash about.
I think in real life, if a
Double
gorilla
splash zone.
did anything, it would just be intimidating. Like if a gorilla moves, it's pretty scary.
I want to throw my hat on a blue whale, and the gameplay sections would be extremely slow. It would be like Song of the Deep or like Abzu, but just like a quarter speed. Sweet.
They actually move pretty good clip.
Soaking in baleen through your bristles.
Yep. Getting that krill.
Do I even need to answer this question?
Just pick an animal, dude.
Obviously,
Pick an animal.
obviously a bear.
Well, what kind of bear?
All right, we'll mix it up. A polar bear.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
We'll go polar bear.
Drink some Coke.
Yeah,
Going around.
and like snowball fights with other polar bears.
Snowball fights.
Yeah.
Dude, Hubert, because it's you for a day, you should take down a killer whale.
As a polar bear,
Yeah, as a polar bear.
they take out killer whales.
They don't. Like, so because it's you, you're only this
Try
bear
it.
for a day. Yeah, try
Hunting
it.
Jones.
Yeah.
Jones
I will
is a
take
blue
it.
whale.
Oh.
Good luck.
Damiani, which animal would you be?
I'll go with a dolphin.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, see the world through using echoes to visualize everything. Rather than a bat, I'll go underwater. I'll be a dolphin.
Nice.
Our next question comes in from Joseph. Greetings, allies. I've got a simple thought experiment that I hope will shed some light on how we enjoy our favorite hobbies as adults in 2017. Please reject reality for a few minutes and ask yourselves, if all video games, consoles, and accessories suddenly were free to you, do you think you'd play more games? If cost and accessibility to games were never an issue again, how would you manage your free time? Do you think you'd at least try out more games, or would you remain frozen in place due to choice overload? Thanks for humoring me.
Yeah, I have an immediate example. There's a bunch of stuff coming out on Oculus that I don't have a Rift, so I can't play. That I would definitely want to check out. So that's something immediately I would just be like, mine.
I'm very much in line with Greg's reply to that question. It was like, yeah, I've got so many games I haven't played yet that I actually own that I think I'm pretty much in that situation.
Mm.
So yeah.
Must be nice.
Well, I don't know. So yeah, but from like all the stuff in the old game library and everything like that, and past Steam sales to where now it's like I don't need a Steam sale. I've done that.
I agree. I think time is just the biggest limiting factor for me. So if time wasn't
Yeah.
an issue, for sure. But regarding like money, the thing that comes to mind is like VR, like Oculus. I haven't done anything with Oculus really, or the Vive.
Yeah,
I would
that's true.
definitely like go all in on that if money wasn't an issue. Anyone else?
We could get an Xbox One X.
Nice.
No,
Right.
it's true. It's true.
4K TV, no question.
I feel pretty comfy where I am. I don't think I would have bought a PS4 Pro or a PlayStation VR if this wasn't my job. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, will I get an Xbox One X? I don't know. They're expensive. Maybe. Generally, I own the games that I want to. I don't really look forward to sales because most of the games that I wanted to buy, I've already bought. But that's just because of I don't buy a ton of games, and yeah, it really is like the games that I buy, I like to play, and even those I don't finish, I just put in like 10 or 20 hours and then say, okay, on to the next one. And even then, like I'm at like max capacity right now for games.
I would try and get, it wouldn't be expensive to get, but I would get a Saturn and I would play all these Saturn games that everyone always goes nuts over about how expensive they are, and be like, oh, I can finally play these games and see why everyone goes nuts over these old JRPGs on the Saturn that cost a buttload of money. The American version, or sorry, the English versions, because those are so rare.
What are they?
I'll have to look them up. But every time I go to like any kind of game show or something, and my roommate Simmons and Max, they just go nuts over these games. Like, what are these games? I've never heard.
I mentioned like Dragon Saga, right?
Yeah, that and
Saga.
like Snatcher and Sega CD stuff as well. Like Snatcher and
Shining
there's
Force 3.
Yeah, stuff like that. There's just, the box art looks amazing. Like on these games, like, whoa, these look really good. Then you see the price tag, like several hundreds of dollars for each. I'm like, okay, how about no? So,
I mean, I have a copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga that I haven't played yet, and so we'll just do it together.
Sounds like a stream. Sounds like a show.
You
Sounds
got
like a
the
show.
one from the library, right? Or is that Ben?
I think I still have one too. Yeah, in a
Whoa.
very safe place. If anyone ever wants it, let me know.
place.
Yeah. Very safe.
Our next
Hubert has a
question.
safe, and that was the hint, by the way.
What's that?
Hubert owns a safe.
No,
Okay.
no.
And he's like, it's in a very safe place.
Oh,
It's just the Saturn. It's just Huber Saturn.
Is it at your parents' house?
Yeah, it's in like a very. It's in a separate
bit
container.
safe.
you don't have to tell us where it is.
It's in a safe location, a secure location.
It's in the plastic bins. I
It's in
know.
a secure location.
Our next question comes in from Greg. Happy post E3 allies. This question is about ally origins. After listening to the early episodes of Friend Code and the allies' early days of gaming, I noticed a common theme of sharing gaming as a kid with friends and family. So my question to the panel is, when, if it happened, did you start to notice yourself separating from your group with your love of games? Can you remember the time when you knew your passion and knowledge for games in the industry ran deeper than those around you, where they started losing interest to become more casual and yours remained or gained interest into something that could lead you down the path to covering the industry like you do today?
I mean, I grew up with Brad, so
Yeah, but I'd say after the PS2 era, Mike, a lot of our friends kind of fell off.
yeah. Oh,
That
it's
was,
really.
that was it. Yeah.
We always talk about that too. It's depressing. Like, we have this really, really close friend, Steven, and he was like our gaming ally, and just we used to play like everything together, like Smash, Mario Party, like whatever it may be. He was like super huge on Final Fantasy, like Brad levels of Final Fantasy, just like his favorite franchise, and then just fell off.
That was it.
Yeah, it's weird. Basically, I think I've never had friends who loved video games as much as I do until I worked at GameTrailers, which is weird. So it's not like I had that drop off. I just had a lot of friends who didn't love video games that much for most of my life, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just kind of a life change kind of thing. You know, when I moved across the country, then I wasn't in contact with those guys that I played games with growing up. So I guess wasn't around to experience that drop off necessarily.
Sorry, Blood. I want to give credit to my roommates. And when I first moved out to LA, I had some roommates who loved games, and I wasn't being fair to them. We all we all moved out here to do showbiz, and now we all have sweet video games jobs. It's really weird. But yeah, I want to give credit to those guys.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely though that was sort of a shift in some of the games that I used to play. You know, like with those guys, I used to play a lot of fighting games, and once I got out here, it was either the friends I had that would play games on the couch or whatever, like weren't that good at anything, and then once I got to places like GT, then I was not anywhere near as good as those guys. So I was like, there's nobody that was on the same level as the friends like I was growing up with. I was in this weird middle zone.
In high school, especially, the people I was hanging out with were very into games, and so I don't know, I didn't really feel like I was separating from them. But I remember in elementary and middle school a little bit, my friends were so obsessed with Nintendo. Like, they grew up with Nintendo, they only had Nintendo. And I remember getting a PlayStation and playing all these great games, playing Metal Gear Solid and Gran Turismo and Final Fantasy, and like telling them about it and saying, like, you have to play these things, they're amazing. And just their snobbiness about it. They're like, have you played Mario 64? I'm like, yeah, Mario's great, but you should also check this out. And just their refusal to do so really got under my skin. Yeah,
Whoa,
they just were not happy.
Loyalty.
I eventually got a couple of them to play Metal Gear, but yeah, it was annoying.
I'm sorry, the response to Metal Gear was, have you played Mario 64?
Right. They're like, I remember getting into, it was a like little kid conversation, but I remember getting into an argument where I was saying, like, you have to play Metal Gear, and I was saying how much I loved the story and the characters, and I'm like, yes, but it's not as big as Ocarina of Time. Is there a Hyrule Field in Metal Gear Solid? And I was like, that's not the point. They're not going for the same thing. Yeah, they just really hated it. So,
have you talked to them since?
Yeah, I'm still friends with a couple of them.
Okay.
They're not like that anymore. But anyone else?
Yeah, this was basically like GameTrailers. Like, that was like this crew, like that original when we founded the site in 2002. Like, just right after college, all of us getting back together and realizing, like, oh yeah, we all like video and we all like video games. Like, there's got to be a way, like, to connect those things. And so that was weird and kind of icky when, like, hangouts that we would normally just, like, get together and play games and not care, like, what we were doing turned into, like, well, we should probably, like, capture what we're doing and like, organize tapes and stuff like that. And then it became a job. It's been a job ever since. But, yeah, I was, like, trying to think. I was like, is there something before GameTrailers? And I'm like, no, not really. That was it. Yeah, that was the big deal. But I definitely had a lot of nerdy video game friends. And whenever my brother, like, sends me a text about video games, I'm like, yes. He's still into games.
That's
Feels
like
good.
my brother too, Jones. He only plays like Naughty Dog and like a couple random games a year at most.
FIFA.
Used to be in FIFA and like Gran Turismo, like once in a while. Like the other day, he texted me. He's like, yo, should I get Life is Strange? I was like, that's not your style. No, because it was like free on PS Plus, so it was like weird for him to text me about it.
Ooh, actually, I got a good question for you guys.
Yeah.
It's free.
You guys know Mike Buddy.
Yeah.
Mike Buddy finally got a PlayStation 4. He's
Nice.
literally just starting his like Sony version of this generation so far. What should Buddy play? What are like the exclusives on PS4 that's like
Bloodborne.
for anything?
Bloodborne.
Obviously.
Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Last of Us.
Bloodborne and
Last of
Uncharted
Us.
4 were the two that I thought of.
Now,
Yeah, he played Last of Us on PS3, so he was like, yeah, I'll play remastered, but
I know Last Guardian.
Last
All right.
I think
divisive.
Mike Buddy would like. That's not divisive. It's very good.
Do you guys ever run into this situation, like, because I hang out with you guys all the time, where I can say a game and you guys just immediately know it, where you're talking to somebody that is not as into games, or you're meeting them for the first time and you just like, you start talking like it's one of us, and you mention a game or you mention like an acronym for gaming, and then you have to go like, oh wait, they're like, of course they don't know what that is. It's like why would I expect them to? That happens to me pretty
Yes,
regularly.
all the time.
I've learned to tone down my gaming language years ago.
Okay.
Where it's just like, yeah, I'm playing games. You know, I don't, like the more specific you get, the quicker you lose them.
I usually bring up TV shows instead.
Just talk about TV.
Yeah, because then everyone knows. Like, so, like if chances are, if you haven't seen a show, you know what show you know about it. Whereas games, it's like, huh, what? What's a PlayStation? Like Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to people the whole gamut, so I tend to try to, start at the most general terms that I can, and then figure out what they know from there.
Our next question comes in from Michael. Hello, Easy Allies. There are a few games that weren't a part of E3 2017, which I hope will be included at E3 2018. One is Allowed to Dream. The games are remakes of Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge, Lotus Turbo Challenge 2, Lotus 3 The Ultimate Challenge, and New Lotus 4. Little Nemo The Dream Master remake. Please, Capcom, let my dream come true. Settlers remake. Any game on the list that you would like to see at E3 2018?
Nah, I think all those Lotus games kind of sucked, so I don't want to see them ever again.
Kyle, you don't know anything about those Lotus games.
No, I don't. What are they? What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's clearly it's clearly a racing series. It's entirely based on the brand, but
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know zero about any of this.
Little Nemo, though, I would love to see that come back in like DuckTales remastered style, or include the original too, if it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Blood, do you mean the Way Forward one or the more recent Disney Afternoon Collection style?
I think it was originally things of the Disney Afternoon Collection.
Okay,
but,
I'd be more on board for that.
Yeah.
And then what was the last one, Ben? It was those 4 Lotus games. Nemo.
Settlers.
And what is that?
I don't know what Settlers is either.
Dang.
Settlers of Catan.
I think it's a PC sim.
Yeah, I think
Kind of like
isn't
Civilization,
Settlers
but
still
like
going?
more minimal.
I think Settlers is like a long, ongoing series.
You stumped us.
You stumped us.
You got us.
The Allies.
I played Little Nemo though, and it's great. So that'd be my pick.
That was a game where I could not get past level 2 on the NES.
Yeah, like Settlers 7 in 2010.
Settlers.
Like, yeah, I don't feel like it's been gone for that long. If it's been gone,
Settle it in Settlers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. You beat me to it.
Joe, you're gonna do Settle It in Settlers?
No, I like the joke. I was gonna do the joke. Settle it.
Just
Settlers.
here for the jokes.
Just here for the jokes.
Our next question is from Tim. Guten Tag, Allies.
I think it's just Tim.
Tim?
Yeah.
Just Tim. Okay. Just Tim. I should know that. Guten Tag, Allies. All the madness that is E3, especially the big press conferences, give me a lot of ideas from my monthly Re4 game for you guys. This time I focused on franchises owned by Microsoft. Here are the rules again. For the following 7 gaming franchises, choose one of the following options. Remaster, reboot, really just give me a sequel, or remove. Here are the games. Let's just do one by one here instead of me giving you the whole list up front. So Mech Warrior, do you want to remaster, reboot, really just give me a sequel, or remove?
Reboot, baby.
Yeah, I agree with reboot.
reboot again, I guess.
Yeah. I think you could do a sequel too. Because MechWarrior Online is still popping.
It is?
Yeah, people are still playing MechWarrior Online. Project Gotham Racing.
Ooh, that's got to be a reboot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if there's any kind of through line for those, maybe. But yeah, total reboot.
Is there space for Project Gotham
Remove
Racing
it.
today? Yeah, remove it.
No.
It's too much.
Oh,
Remove
okay.
it.
Kill it.
See you
We don't
later.
need it. We don't need it.
Well, I mean, honestly, in a large way, like Forza Horizon 3 is Project Gotham Racing.
Right.
Yeah,
A lot
it's
of same devs too, right? Bud?
same developers and stuff. They're just under the Forza brand now because that's easy to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Remove it.
Wait,
Like,
is that the game with kudos?
Yeah.
Yeah, forget about it.
Oh yeah, you give kudos or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fable.
You got to reboot that, dude.
I think
That's the
I think you
only
could just sequel it. I think you could just sequel it.
No way,
I
Jones.
think you
Yeah.
can.
Because look at all the other games were like essentially reboots. Like they kind of were linked to the older games, but not really. Like I think you just be like, hey man, Fable 4. Just it's gonna feel like the older games, but it's gonna be
They need to get rid of the stigma of the Fable franchise, though, Jones, of like what people expect from those games.
I definitely hear that. I just think if you made a game and call it Fable, it would just reek of try hard. It would just be like, yeah, Fable. Like I just think 4 is really honest. Like 4 is just a really upfront way to be like, let's
4 is like
we're gonna try again, like we tried again with 3 and tried again with 2.
exactly. It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be a disaster again.
Yeah,
You gotta go
that's a
all
whole different
in on
thing.
it. You gotta go all in.
I say remove.
Remove blood, no
Jones,
mercy.
the charm, the hope.
Who makes
There's-
the new Fable sequel?
The hope of Fable before release was way better than anything that ever actually came out.
Yeah,
But I think there's something there.
there's something there.
I think there's a human being out there that can extract the potential from a new Halo game. There's somebody out there with the passion, with the vision. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't know
but
who it
I feel like
is.
There's
I'm
life
thinking.
in that name.
Wait, Halo.
There's potential.
He meant Fable.
I meant, did I say Halo?
Yeah. I was like, I
I
got
said,
confused.
Fable. Fable, Halo, Forza.
Jones, I really want you to assign a developer to this Fable sequel because I think
Yeah, I know. Something like Yacht Club Games, but not that small. Something that could handle it.
Obsidian. I want Obsidian to make the
There
new.
it is. That's
Obsidian's not
That's a
bad.
good pick.
Ben, that's
Good pick, man.
perfection.
They would nail it. Oh, they would.
Nail it. Yep.
Yep.
They would nail it.
So good.
real quick, I don't think Microsoft owns MechWarrior anymore.
Oh.
And I thought there was a new Mech
Yeah, you're
MechWarrior
right.
coming. There's a new MechWarrior coming out next year, supposedly. I thought.
You're
Let's
right.
fact check that.
Well, I'm also not sure what their involvement with Fable is now that there's this
Well-
Fable card game coming out.
Did he mean to say Mech Assault? And is that they own Mech Assault?
Could be, yeah.
Possible.
I mean, MechWarrior was published by Microsoft back in the day, but I thought they lost it, and some random developer picked it up and said they were bringing it back, and they were like continuing it. Let's look.
Yeah, I think you're getting the two.
MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. Yeah, that's what it says. Coming out 2018.
I think he meant to say Mech Assault.
Yeah,
Wait, were they supposed to be Microsoft franchises?
Yeah.
that's what it said.
Oh,
The
okay.
question, I was just like,
Because I'm seeing early MechWarrior like games on the Super NES. So
yeah, they were all over the place. Maybe.
Well, let's
yeah.
not get hung up on it.
Yeah, sorry.
but yeah, Mech Assault is a totally different.
I'm sorry. I'm hung up on Fable Fortune. That's not at all published by Microsoft.
Right.
Who is Flaming Fowl Studios? Who is this?
So there's some guys from Lionhead in there.
Okay. All right. Man, this is weird. Okay, sorry. Yeah, our conversation hit the brakes hard there.
That was a flaming foul, all right.
All right. Well,
Okay,
let's send it soaring. What would you do to Flight Simulator? Remaster, reboot, really just give me a sequel or remove.
Really, just give me a sequel.
I feel like that audience just wants a sequel.
Yeah.
There's no rebooting Flight Sim. I mean, it's just Flight Simulator. Yeah.
The gritty reboot of Flight
Yeah,
Simulator.
Yeah, we don't need Ace Combat out of Flight Simulator for sure.
Single player campaign.
I mean,
There's
now
like
I kind of
drug
want to see
smuggling.
how they would brand a reboot of Flight Simulator.
Drug smuggling, Flight Simulator.
Sam Fisher comes in.
That's right. If you do any of that stuff, it's not Flight Simulator anymore. It's just like might as well just make a new franchise.
Drug smuggling simulator.
Starlancer / Freelancer.
Man, I hear about these games every so often, and I
We
don't
need
know
Ian
anything.
for this one.
I think you could do a remake of Freelancer. I think that'd be really cool.
Sweet.
Like, I think that game still holds up. Yeah, I think you do.
You'd have to compete with Beyond Good and Evil now, right?
Uh,
Oh, so it's a space game?
I'd want to know more about the space stuff in Beyond Good and Evil 2, but sure. Because I don't think they'd be competing really at all.
How much is it like? Is it like Elite Dangerous at all? Seems like that to me, but like I said, I don't know them that well.
Kind of, yeah. You're exploring planets. You're going to space stations, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm talking like I know a lot about Freelancer, and I really don't. I played it like once.
Okay.
Yeah. Monster Truck Madness.
Dude.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Never played Monster Truck.
Remaster. Just give me a remaster. That's it.
What is it, Huber? What is this game?
It sounds so familiar. It's like...
What could it be?
Well, they also said Motocross Madness is another name for it.
Well, I just wonder if
my neighbor had this.
If the camera's behind the car or above the car.
I think
That's a
it's
big
above.
factor. Okay.
I think it's like a RC Pro-Am, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, dude, my neighbor had this on his computer.
No, this is different. This is a different game.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with it.
This is a tough one. We're killing the momentum every time we have to look up the name of the.
I know.
What this game
I think
is.
it's really like a lot of these games we're just not very familiar with.
But I mean, there's no question that monster trucks have not really been represented well this generation.
Sure.
Nobody's really stepped up.
That's true.
Jones, we had a monster truck game come out a month ago. Maybe it was 2 months ago.
Probably
Was it
free to
good?
play, right?
No,
I imagine free to play or like $20 is the most you're going to want
it
to
was. It was
charge
like
for a
$20.
monster truck game.
Yeah, I think it was like 15 or 20. Yeah.
You know what's coming up real soon is Micro Machines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Groups
Shoot, that's this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black and White.
Black and white.
Don't
I
touch
can go
it.
sequel, I think.
I think you could do a sequel.
You could do a
Because that would be
sequel.
3, right?
Yeah, it'd be 3.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 is hype.
Yeah. For sure.
Finish the fight.
Good one. Black and white. Wow.
Be cool to have like a mobile component. If there was like a mobile version of it that you could do different things in, but would sync up to your save file.
Our next question is a simple one. Comes in from Professor Metal Gear. Name one video game related activity you're enjoying.
Streaming.
What?
Oh,
I love streaming. I love it big time. I love being able to share Mega Man Legends with an audience and seeing people's new reactions to it and people's old reactions to it. I love it big time.
So it can't be related to video games at all.
I'm sorry, it's non-video game related activity?
Non-video game related.
Oh.
Non-video game related activity.
I swear you read name one video game related activity.
Yeah, that's what
Sure, I could have
that's
just
what I
read
thought.
I could have read that. Name one non-video game related activity. I thought you, honestly, Kyle, I thought you were just doing a bit,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, one non-video game related activity.
Got it.
Going to the movies. It's my peace on earth. More than anything.
I got back to writing a little bit. I wrote some screenplays this week.
Wow,
Jones,
that's
seriously?
sick.
Are you ever going to share those with us, or is that like private stuff?
Hell nah. Because I'm not gonna have the time to make them worth something. To there are a couple of people that I do want to show them to, which is why I put a little work into it this week. So I felt good.
Jones, that's really cool.
Wee.
What about our audience? Will they ever get to see them?
Who knows? Sure. I mean, ultimately, yeah, that's the goal for Easy Allies to produce narrative content. So, yeah, that's a dream. Not for 2017 though.
During E3 month, this is a hard question for me. Everything I've been doing
Because it's all been gaming.
somewhat video game related.
Can I say watching anime?
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
It's like
that's not-
really hard for me to like sit down and watch anime for some reason. Like I watch so much TV and stuff because it's on my TV. Like I have cable or whatever, and
Yeah.
things just like I have like a million shows just set to tape. So like I'll come home and I'll queue it up, and there it'll all be just right for me. I don't have to like search anything. I just plop down on my couch and watch it. So like, for whatever reason, starting anime is always like a daunting task, and there's like so much of it, and it's like subtitles. It's like very intense. I got to be in the right like mindset. but I just recently started watching Attack on Titan, and it's like every time I sit down and like dive into an anime series, it's like so good. The best feeling.
Dude, because anime is designed to feel like you're making progress in a story.
Mm-hmm.
It always
Totally.
builds on itself.
Totally.
And that's what's so good about it. It's not just like, oh, I'm watching another episode of Law and Order. It's the same as it was last week. It's just, you know, you're building. Personally, I think I'm grateful I live in a neighborhood where a lot of things are like I can walk to them. And this is max cheese, but I like walking. I like walking to things. If you work at home, you become insane. And so it's actually super good to just go out and exert yourself, just feel an environment. And so I actually really dig walking.
Nice. Calvin, I'm with you, man.
One thing that really cracked me up was like Kind of Funny Live 3, and they were like, yeah, they're all going to meet at this rib place. All the fans are going to be there. And I was like, oh, okay. And I brought up GPS, and it was like 2.5 miles away. And I was like, sure, walk 2.5 miles. And it was nice because it was so hot inside Kind of Funny Live 3 because they don't have air conditioning at the venue. It's like being outside in the night sky. I was like, oh, it like felt so nice. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to walk there. And there were like a bunch of fans that were like just hopping in an Uber. And they're like, you could just jump in the Uber. And I'm like, I'm going to walk. And that blew their minds. They're like, you're going to walk? It's like, yeah, like it's going to be really nice. Like, and especially in San Francisco, like a city I don't get to enough, you know, it's like to go through a neighborhood I haven't been in yet. And, you know, if it was like 2 a.m, maybe I wouldn't have done that, but it was like 9. And so I was like, okay, sure. I'll go walking around.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally like one of my favorite things when I get to travel for work or whatever, you know, it's just, walk around, you know, like when Square Enix brought me to Tokyo for no particularly good reason to see Final Fantasy 13.
Ouch.
It was like, I don't really have anything to do, so I'm just like, I'm going to walk to Tokyo Tower, and it took me like the whole day to do that and walk back, but it was awesome.
It's cool.
Now I've said this before on other Q&As, but it's like the thing that immediately springs to mind because I'm getting so much joy out of it. But like just going and helping out. So there's like this Petco that I go to, and we just go and clean out the adoptable kittens' cages and like play with them for a little bit. And it's like 6 cats surrounding me all at once as we're working. It is the best. And like now I've been doing it for about a month. And so I know some of their personalities and I'm getting attached. It's a lot of fun. I like every time I go and I do it, it's usually when I like am trying to finish a review or something, or like I'm trying to put a podcast up. And so I think, oh man, I really shouldn't go this week and do it, but I committed to it. And then I go and it just relieves all of that stress. So you got to do it. You gotta just get out of the house, like Kyle said.
Absolutely.
Damiani, what about you?
I think you guys covered some of the ones I usually do. Going to movies, watching Netflix. Netflix is like the easiest one for me because it's on my computer as well. I think I'm less like Huber in that I don't have cable. I don't need to go to a TV and watch shows and movies anymore. So there'll just be points where I'll be working on something and I'll just be like, all right, no, like let's watch an episode of something to give me like a break, like to force me to stop doing that. And like right now, because I saw it on like, you know, bless Netflix's recommendations, whatever algorithm they use is so good.
Watching
Twin Peaks showed up. OG.
Nice.
So
Dude, Damiani.
Just watched the pilot episode. So I know I've mentioned, like, asked you all about like the new Twin Peaks and stuff, but that same thing again, like it didn't really like my brain didn't really absorb as much of it other than you guys said it was like good. So I did not really know what to expect going into that pilot episode. And it was just so not what I expected at all. But like, I was like, geez, like this is intense. But now I got to watch 2 seasons of this. So I was like, oh, what? I was like, and I get now, like, there were so many characters and plot lines introduced. I was like, geez, like that's what I meant by intense. It's like, there's a lot of stuff to take in that first pilot episode.
That pilot episode is incredible, man. It's one of the best of the whole thing.
Like,
just the amount of time they focus on people crying for really long periods of time.
I mean, it's simultaneously amazing, but at the same time, I was getting like made for school vibes. Like some of those like the way the shots are done. I was just like,
And that's totally intentional, dude. Like the cheesiness. Like anytime you see a scene, it's like, oh, this is super heavy. It's like it's painted exactly that way for a reason. Like, and that's why it's so creepy on so many levels. And then like beneath all of that is just like horror that like it's so good.
Did you say you just watched the first episode?
Yeah, I started a bit of episode 2, but I was like, I need to go to sleep. Actually, let's stop watching. But driving actually would be the one I like to do. As you all, a bunch of you said, like you just need to get out sometimes. There is a shopping center close enough that I could walk to, but sometimes I just like to make myself go out longer than that. I'll be like, all right, go out for a drive, and like I'll make myself take longer ways to get to places just to be out longer. And I'll be like, I need to be out of the apartment for at least an hour. So driving, this is kind of nice for me.
You have a cat in the shot, Damiani.
I know.
Our next question comes in from Irvin. This question comes with curiosity that sprung to mind about Ian. Okay. He mentioned about the balance of story and gameplay. He can both love Edith Finch and other walking sims, but not like The Last of Us for linear storytelling and lack of choice. All right. So he's infamous for writing anything that isn't Souls-like, wanting great gameplay and story and lore given your ledger. So with all this in mind, an immensely influential game in my life is SpecOps: The Line. Not only is the gameplay purposefully generic and just okay to terrible grind, with the cover system being harsh, but it gets worse and worse the lower levels of hell you get into with the game and story. He's wanting to know what Ian thinks of this game, and then this goes out to the rest of us, what they chime in, what they liked or did not like. If you liked it, what did you like, and so on. What did you think of? Yeah, I also really like SpecOps.
I finished it right when it came out, so it's a little hazy, but I just obviously the story. I remember loving the story, like the ending when it was all over. I was like, whoa! That was a game that I went into expecting something that it wasn't. I was expecting. I remember because I had GameFly at the time. I was in college, so I just another military shooter. Sure, I'll just rent that. Go through that over the weekend.
Well, that's what's cool. It's part of the SpecOps franchise, and none of the other SpecOps games are like that.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had played any of the SpecOps. Yeah, I don't think I have, Kyle.
I think there's 8 on PS1. There's just a ton of SpecOps games.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's one that's just on my backlog. So it's come up for vote a couple of times in Blood Pact, but haven't got to it yet.
Blood, it's way less fun later on in life. Now that there's a twist at the end. That's the pretext I played it under. Is I played it I think 3 years ago, knowing there's a huge twist. And so you're expecting I'm gonna feel bad for the actions I'm doing, aren't I? And you do. It's okay. And so that impact is gone. The best way to play it is the way that Huber played it, for sure. I'm not sure I buy intentionally dull gameplay.
I was kind of questioning that too.
But I do think it is there's still a fun game there where you're having fun shooting guys, and it does make you question that. And anytime that's an interesting thing to do. I think.
Well, I remember the years when they were coming in and previewing it, they were just all about being able to play with sand using that mechanic and gameplay, and I don't know how much of that actually made it to the final game.
I can remember some really cool sandstorm levels, right?
Yeah,
some cool stuff.
Yeah, the sand stuff is in there. It definitely seems like it shifted quite a bit from that initial pitch that was super heavily focused on it. Yeah, I agree with what Kyle and Huber said. The only thing that I would add is I also played it at a time when I didn't have the expectations of the ending, and the ending really struck a chord with me. It just felt really carefully constructed, and the way that it ended in that final scene, just kind of ripping apart everything that you had done up until that point, I thought was really cool. I enjoyed my time with it.
Cool game. That's why I'm always frantically trying to keep my head above water, man. You never know when the SpecOps The Line is going to come out. You know, there's always those games.
It could have been Cars 3, dude.
Could have been Cars 3.
It could have been.
Could have been Cars 3.
When I was trying to work at GameTrailers, I made a review for SpecOps The Line in Windows Movie Maker.
Whoa. Do you still have that, Ben?
Yeah, I still have it. It's like on my like Ben Moore YouTube page.
Ben, I want to see that so badly.
I
Ben
VO'd
Moore
it.
YouTube page.
Wait, it's public?
Yeah, it's public.
Yes.
Like people have found it because I've like commented on Easy Allies videos and people have found it.
Oh, it's so cool.
Nice.
And the reason I bring it up is because for whatever reason, I think I was like trying to edit it on like a pretty bad laptop, and every so often my computer would just crash, and I would edit a little bit, my computer would crash. I would edit a little bit again, and just so it took forever. It took hours and hours and hours to do, but yeah, it was fun.
But good on you for not deleting that. It takes a lot of courage to keep that up there. I'm super proud of you for that.
Yeah, the whole review is like totally. This is somebody trying to get into games journalism first review. Like it's taking itself way too seriously in the game that it picks. Like the whole thing has an air of like this is you're like all right, but that's okay.
It's funny, Kyle, that you mentioned that because there's definitely some early like game trailer stuff that I'm like, oh, did that get deleted? Yeah, it's probably for the best. I'm okay with that actually. Like, you does that? Goodbye.
I think the reason I didn't delete it, Kyle, is that while it's embarrassing, like I tried really, really, really hard. And I think when you try that hard, like you're kind of just happy that you put so much effort in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Totally.
Next one is from Ryan. Strategy is one of my favorite video game genres. One of the first games I experienced was the original Heroes of Might and Magic, a strategic quest on my parents' new Macintosh Performa in the mid to late 90s, before I even started grade school. Before I was old enough to play the game, I'd watch my dad and my brother play for hours at a time. Later on, I discovered real-time strategy when a friend of mine loaned me an Age of Mythology, a game I still play with friends today. Wow. Some of my best gaming memories come from playing with friends at LAN parties. Strategy games like Supreme Commander, Age of Empires 2, Civilization 4 and 5, Dawn of War 1 and 2, Since the Solar Empire, Rebellion, Rome Total War, and Battle for Middle-earth 2 are still some of the best games I've played. Not all of you may like strategy games, but even if you do, I know you have your hands full with so many of the great games that are coming out today. But what notable experiences, if any, have you had with strategy games? If there's time, what is one strategy game and or mod you would recommend or would want to play if you had more time?
Mike, we used to play a lot of Warcraft 3 at Cyberdeck.
Oh, yeah. Legendary times.
A lot of good memories.
We were on the front lines of Dota. Right when Dota came out for Warcraft 3, the Dota mod. Experience that game in the best possible way. Going to a LAN center with like 4 or 5 close friends. I remember when Brad and I used to walk through the door, the owner of the LAN shop would just light up. He would be so pumped. He'd be like, all right, game. And he would like go around and we would get 10 people total, 5-on-5 in the LAN center and just play for hours. We did that for like an entire summer at least, or like maybe more than a year. We played a long time. Warcraft 3 and Dota for sure.
Warcraft 3 is the game, man. I spent so much time doing Warcraft 3.
Yep.
And yeah, we went to LAN centers too, and we did a rotation of like regular Warcraft 3, Counter-Strike, Dota.
Yep, CS.
And Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament was another one that we did quite a bit. It was fun. Yeah, man.
The ones that really got me into real-time strategy though were Age of Empires 1 and Warcraft 2. My friend had Warcraft 2. This is the same friend. I gotta find this guy, man. I saw him like a couple years ago on Facebook. This was the same friend who got me into Resident Evil. And he also had Warcraft 2 on his PC. I can remember just playing that like all night long, just going through the campaign. And
this isn't a joke. I thought you were just born into Resident Evil. I thought like you just got yourself into it. I didn't know that you had like a sensei. There.
My neighbor down the street was like, "Yo, check this game out. This is Resident Evil." But Age of Empires and Warcraft and StarCraft, like the 3 pillars
I have this fear in the back of my head that like you're gonna reconnect with him, and he's like, "Hey man, have you played Cookie Clicker?" Like that's gonna be the games that he actually plays now.
I played Cookie Clicker at GameTrailers for like a week and a half straight. It was not healthy.
Oh, I remember that, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I told you not to, and you were like,
know.
"I know, dude. I know."
I gotta keep clicking. I gotta go.
And you kept your PC on over the weekend.
Yes.
So oh my gosh, I remember that.
It was bad, Kyle. It was bad. Clicking those cookies.
I really liked when you were super into the Vita, and like at the end of the day, you just kick back, put your feet on the desk, and play like Persona 4 Golden or Assassin's Creed or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Arkham Blackgate.
Yep.
I always forget the name of that mod for StarCraft that I love.
I knew you were gonna say this, Kyle. It's God, it's like money gem something or other.
It's one word, and it's a multiple. It's a plural of one word. It's okay. We'll get to it, and when StarCraft Remastered comes out, we're playing a bunch of it.
Yes.
Evolves. It's
Evolves. Yes.
We're playing a bunch of Evolves.
For sure.
Hubert, did you ever play the Warcraft 3 mod where it was sort of like Dota, but you could play as Goku and like other characters, and they had their own specific?
Ben, I played that. They had like a bunch of like weird mods like that for random IPs.
Nice.
And there was another one. It's pretty hazy, but I think there was another one where like everybody is trying to blow as much stuff up as possible. It was pretty weird too. I don't know. There was a lot of crazy.
I remember that's where like tower defense really came from. I felt like too. Some Warcraft 3 mods. Was that popular before that?
I don't have a good grasp on tower defense history.
Yeah, I feel like Warcraft early tower defense for sure.
Yeah.
Early Origins. I'm sure there was like some tower defense before then, but that was definitely.
I was hoping Jones would know something right there. Sounds like a Jones zone game.
Hell.
Is Jones really into tower defense?
No, I just feel like you'd be associated with it for some reason.
I do love tower defense, but I'm not associated with that. I did not play a lot of strategy games growing up. I remember I went on vacation to one of Amanda's like family friends, like had a home like by the lake, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna be chilling at this place in the middle of nowhere. Maybe it's time to play StarCraft, and I got Wings of Liberty, and I had played other RTSs, and I knew the story of StarCraft, so like I was not clueless going in. Like I knew what happened to Kerrigan, like I knew the setup for what was going in with the story. It just like got so more addicted to that game than any other RTS I'd played before. So while I haven't then gone and like tried out a lot of other franchises, I always have that thought in the back of my head. I'm like, if I had that much fun with Wings of Liberty. And I still haven't played I played the Swarm, but I didn't play the third one. I still have yet to check that out. Too many games.
I've never been deep into strategy. Definitely haven't even really dipped my toes that much into real time. I've always been more leaning towards turn-based. The most ridiculous story I have, though, is Civ 4 had like a free weekend. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to check this out. Everyone talks about it. I was addicted to Civ 4 for like a full Saturday to the point where I didn't really get up enough to like just be healthy. And like I got this huge headache and got like really sick feeling. And so I laid down just until like the headache was almost gone. And then I got up and played Civ 4 more. I went through the whole day like that. And then I'm like, all right, yeah, this game deserves my money. I'm going to buy this game. And I never touched it again.
Damn.
It's fun.
I got a nugget. So Rampart is a PC game, which is basically the grandfather of tower defense. That's 1990. And then it's really cool. There's a couple of citations of Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII for tower defense-esque mini games.
So cool.
And then the first time they're called tower defense is in Warcraft 3.
There it is.
There was some mods called Element Tower Defense and Gem Tower Defense.
God, I love tower defense. Who's playing Dungeon Defenders 2 with me?
I'll play with you.
Okay. Jones, yeah, I know you're in. Okay.
I just want to play the Darkest Dungeon DLC.
I didn't like the screenshots, dude.
of Dungeon Defenders?
Yeah, I looked at those screenshots and I said, back in the day, like when there were magazines and you needed your screenshots to sell your game, this game wouldn't sell.
It's colorful. It's a colorful game.
It's all color though.
Stuff
Publishers
like
are terrible at screenshots. I mean, I'm just
did you watch
put that
the
out
video?
there.
Kyle?
No, I just looked at those screenshots.
You just watch a video.
I need distinction.
Really quick, can we count Commandos Behind Enemy Lines as a strategy game?
Sounds like it.
Can we count that, Ben?
What is
Count it.
Commandos Behind Enemy Lines?
Huber, I'll give you a pass.
Okay, Commandos is one of my early childhood obsessions. There's 3.5 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, and then like one had a side expansion type thing. It's a World War II game where you have, it's on Good Old Games. It's a World War II game where you have a squad of soldiers and they all have different abilities. There's like the main commando who's like really good with the knife. There's like the driver. He's the only one who can drive vehicles. There's the one guy who can like swim. And you have to kill the Nazis. Obviously, it's World War II. And like some levels are like prisoner rescue or assassinate. Just a really fun and like as a kid, hardcore game. It was like one of my early childhood games that I just absolutely loved with. I love the style, the tone.
Corn fan in chat is saying it's really hard. So he's backing up on that.
They were so hard. You could like move, one of the characters could like move explosive barrels, but he would walk really slow, so you'd like set up these traps. So fun. They're on Good Old Games. Great games.
Our next question comes in from Robert. He says, in a world where time is in short commodity, not unlike this one, beings known as proxies are created that a person sends out to absorb content and media that the host person doesn't have time to enjoy. Everything the proxy reads, watches, hears, etc. is added to a host's brain so that their knowledge and enjoyment of the piece of media is just as good as if they consumed it itself. It's just as good as if they consumed it themselves. The only downside of having a proxy do the work for you is that while you have full knowledge of the media consumed and felt the emotional responses the work inspired within you, you do not get the full satisfaction from the time it takes to enjoy something. Think of it as a skill being uploaded to you, like in the Matrix, but you lose the leisurely enjoyment of going through it yourself. In this world, what content do you assign to your proxies to consume for you first? And what do you save for yourself to personally enjoy in real time?
An anime proxy, no doubt. Go watch all of the anime. Because there's no possible way that I would ever be able to watch all the anime, so I would just have an anime.
You would watch
proxy.
all of it? You'd just say everything.
I'd be like, go consume everything, come back to me when you're done, and I would never see him again.
I am the leader of the anti-proxy movement. Imagine Proxy Huber sitting and enjoying the anime, and then once it's done, just dies. Huber just soaks in the knowledge, and the proxy just dies. It's not right.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's like this scenario is like too dark for me. I can't handle that.
So as part of the anti-proxy movement, are you like assassinating the proxies, or are you just like getting out there and vocalizing your...
I'm just protesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Detroit, become proxy.
No, what's super funny is I'm trying to keep some form of notes because people have been asking for timestamps on Q&A, which is like super hard. Sure. But it's like trying to write down like a couple of word summary of some of these questions of just like media proxies.
Mm-hmm.
What is anyone going to know what that means?
I got to see the click media proxies.
I would have my proxy consume all books because it takes forever to read everything. And Kyle, I would be on the other side of the argument with you. I'd be like, they're not real. It doesn't matter. We go to war.
Because actually, the question brings up an interesting aspect in that sometimes you enjoy a thing because you've given your time to it. Sometimes you enjoy a thing because you have this personal attachment to it. And will it mean as much to you if you just have those memories suddenly? I don't know. It's weird.
Naruto, Kyle.
Maybe this is outside of what the question is asking, but because I wouldn't have an emotional attachment to it anyway, I suppose, like just learning all of the languages. I guess that would go with like Brad's.
Yeah, language is the best because you would just know it.
Oh.
I would have a proxy watch like the Bombcast and Kind of Funny Games live and like like anything everyone else is doing stuff that we're doing that I don't have time to watch any of their stuff.
Sure.
So that like when I'm out talking and they're like, we did an episode on, I'm like, I know that. I'm familiar with the context of that episode, but like I understand you, so I don't need to get that register of like, was I happy when I watched it? It's like I probably was. I like these people. I just want to have context. I just hate them being like, we did this cool thing, it lasted all weekend, and I'm like, I didn't watch it because we were also doing a cool thing that also lasted all weekend. So I hope your thing was cool, but I can't. There's no way I'm ever going to absorb it.
Here's the danger though of the proxy, because okay, say you assign your proxy to watch this stuff that people have told you all these good things about or whatever, but then like if you had been watching it yourself and you see it just gets to the point that you don't want to go and you're just like, no, I'm out. I'm walking out of the theater or whatever. You have that moment. The proxy just puts all that stuff in your head that you don't want there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the sci-fi element of this. Like I didn't tell my proxy to watch this. Like suddenly you start getting like more memories of like things that you like. The dark chapters. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really
or
don't.
You start having this conversation with somebody who's like, "Hey, remember when we were together? We watched that thing." It's like, you weren't there. you weren't there. That didn't happen.
I'm in love with your proxy.
Michael Crichton wrote that question.
We lost Ben, so we can't get our next question.
Oh.
Wait,
he's muted. Wait,
he's there.
Back.
He's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's Ben.
Oh,
Yes, man.
Moving on to the next question from Caesar. A Netflix original series, GameTrailers, The Reign of an American Greatest. Hello, allies. Netflix is looking for the next big project. After kicking around some ideas, they stumble upon a story about a website that was king and slowly lost steam for a not fully disclosed reason. Doing some research in the public material, like Shane's Game Face show, Marcus Spears' podcast, and Brandon's guest appearances, in the co-optional and kind of funny, they decide to greenlight the project with David Fincher at the helm. After all, he managed to get a movie about freaking Facebook when he made it win Oscars. The question for you, allies, is who would you cast to play each of you and other important roles in GT history like Shane, Jeff, Ryan, Marcus, Elise, Matt, etc. Don't worry about matching ages. We have Marvel and Disney's de-aging technology secured.
Nice. Bruce Campbell's playing me.
Yeah, Fern Gorman's playing me.
Keanu Reeves is playing me.
Yeah. Adam Sandler's Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. No choice.
Yeah, sorry, Kyle.
that's good. That's good.
Kevin James can be Ben.
What?
Kevin James.
What?
I didn't even
that
understand the joke.
Does that mean me and Ben
There's
are the
no
stars of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking like Elijah Wood or Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz.
Can I have Paul Walker instead?
What a pull, Ben.
I was at a playground once, and a girl I didn't know came up to me, and she said, "You look like Frankie Muniz." And I was like, "Thanks."
Is this Cody Banks era? Agent Cody Banks?
This was definitely Cody Banks era. Yeah.
So that was a compliment. That was like,
I think so.
She was
It
into
wasn't
you.
said in a mean way, but
yeah, she was into you, dude.
Was that
He
post
said you were like a
Malcolm?
secret agent, basically, is what she said.
Yeah.
nothing came out of
Post
it.
Malcolm or between it?
I
I don't know. I don't know the history of Frankie Muniz.
I'm gonna say that's.
Well, you
post-
look like him. You should know it.
I'm gonna say that's post
I don't think
Malcolm.
that's how that works, Brad.
I think Malcolm ended and he thought he was gonna be a movie star.
Oh, okay.
But then didn't he get a disease?
Really?
I don't
Yeah.
Ooh, can we? This is not.
I'll sleuth it. All
All
I
right.
don't like where this is going.
know. We don't need to come back to that, Kyle. That's okay.
I gotta find out.
Who plays Damiani? We need
Who
to know
plays
this.
Damiani? Yeah.
Brad Pitt is Bloodworth, obviously. Brad Pitt from True Romance plays Bloodworth.
People
was-
always.
I was trying to figure out one for myself. Actually, I was thinking maybe Doug Jones.
Sure.
Doug Jones.
This guy in
Oh.
all the creature suits.
Yeah. Doug Jones posted a great picture of him in Batman Returns. He was one of the clowns.
Doug Jones hype.
It's like, oh, Doug Jones. One of my
Hellblade.
favorite movies. Hellboy, you mean?
Somebody suggested Russell Crowe as Damiani, which I find funny.
Maybe Jonah Hill. I see people say that a lot.
Okay.
I need the Damiani version of that Jonah Hill gif where he's screaming and his head's going back and forth.
What do you mean
Okay.
people say that? to you?
Damiani version of that.
Oh, every time on streams and stuff, there's the occasional person who goes, "Why is Jonah Hill on the stream?"
Dude, you don't look anything like Jonah Hill.
I know.
I got a nugget. I got a Muniz nugget.
Oh boy.
So in November of 2012, he had a mini stroke, and then in 2013 he had another mini stroke, but none since. So he's healthy.
Jeez.
And he's had a crazy career. He went into racing, and then he wanted to be a drummer for a band called. Oh, I lost it. He's a drummer in a band. That's like what Frankie Muniz's career has been.
Whoa.
I can, yeah.
Oh,
I wanna
here it
take
is.
That path.
The band is called Kingsfoil.
Interesting.
It's fine. Perfectly acceptable band title
The thing is,
for a guy who's had 2 strokes.
Oh man, Joe.
Louise, dude.
Come on.
So what I'm saying is he's allowed to be in that band. He can be in any band he wants.
Justin Timberlake is Michael Pachter. That's my answer.
He's worked with Fincher before.
Next question, if we're ready to move on. Rez asks, hello, allies from South Africa. This week I started compiling a list of games releasing the rest of the year and the release date so I can decide which ones I'm going to buy. For each ally, which game will have the highest Metacritic score and lowest Metacritic score for each month? Boy, this is pretty involved.
There's a lot of games too.
Yeah, there's a lot of games.
Let's just pick 1 month then. Let's pick 1
we'll
month.
We'll do
Don't do
October.
'cause it's
October.
Super Mario.
October.
We'll do October. I think October is the one to do.
By the way, I really just
October's
like,
stacked.
because we do
Obviously,
reviews.
it's Mario.
I've always like kept the stuff off limits for bets or anything because we do reviews. I'm super uncomfortable with guessing Metacritic stuff,
Yeah.
but it's the Q&A.
Yep.
Got to play along. Just want to say I'm super uncomfortable with it.
I agree with your point. So highest Metacritic score and lower Metacritic score.
Obviously, Mario. Highest. It's not even a question.
So we've got Middle Earth: Shadow of War, The Evil Within 2, South Park: The Fractured Butthole, Super Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origins, Wolfenstein: The New Colossus.
Sheesh.
I don't think
it's
I don't think Assassins is making it that month. I'll make that guess.
Oh, it's gonna be delayed.
Yeah.
No, it's hitting.
that game gets delayed. It's gonna be like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's hitting.
Well, the lowest scores won't be any
Mario-
of those games, but it'll probably be Assassins of that group.
Yep.
I think lowest would be Assassins
No way.
or
Shadow of War.
Shadow of War. Yeah.
Shadow of War. Easiest, lowest.
Yeah, it's one of those two for sure.
Shadow of Mordor got a lot of goatees the year it came out.
It did.
Slow
But it
year.
was-
Games journalists love that game.
Yeah.
It was new as well, though, so I'm curious whether the sequel
Yeah.
will do the same effect.
All right.
The honeymoon's over.
Yeah.
Any dissenting opinions?
I think all those games will do well. I think, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they'll all do well.
I
It's
think The
hard-
Evil Within will get 100 on Metacritic. For
Good
Huber.
vibes, man. Good
Yeah,
vibes.
just Huber's score.
It's just Huber's score.
100.
Yeah, in terms of helping him decide what to buy, I don't think we're going to be very helpful on that.
Oh, just get Mario. That's easy. It's
Yeah.
easy. Just get Mario.
Giving purchasing advice is always difficult because I don't know what people are into or how much time they have or what their experience is.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think
Stuff.
you could recommend Mario to anybody, but then you get that one guy that pops up. It's just
I
can't
hate
deal with
Mario.
it.
Why would you ever
Mario's the
recommend
same
Mario?
thing every time? Okay, yeah.
Very
There's
true.
There's something for everyone in October, though.
Yeah, here's what I know is don't
What
use
about
Metacritic.
variety?
Metacritic should not be the defining factor of what you buy, for sure.
Use screenshots.
Use screenshots.
Next question is from Brian. Hello, allies. If you were to form a PlayStation Justice League /Adventures, what characters would be in it? Each ally gets to pick one character from a PlayStation exclusive game, past or present. Former exclusives such as Tomb Raider, Crash Bandicoot, and Spyro also count. If there's time, please select the villain and/or villains and plot of the game, and maybe describe how your character would continue.
Tomb
so
Raider
I
was
think-
never exclusive. That was a PC game too.
Sure. That didn't. I was just reading it. It didn't even register to me. But yeah, you're right. Let's just go ahead and make our. Let's not describe the plot. Let's do just our Justice League Avengers PlayStation group.
Mine is Rikimaru from the original Tenchu.
Taking the best answer already.
Tough act to follow. I think Parappa has to be in there.
Sure.
How many? Do we have a limit?
No, one for each person, I think. Let's put there's 7 of us here. Let's do 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Sly from Sly Cooper.
Okay.
Excellent.
This is a team. We're making a team.
Yeah.
Think of the synergy.
I'm going to go with Phalanx, the Flying Colossus.
Well done, bud.
They all travel on him, and that's so great.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stealth, so we need some muscle.
Kratos.
Yep. Kratos.
Damiani and Kyle, I think, are the last two.
Fine, I'll say Crash Bandicoot. Why be cute? We need to put him in there. He's got to be in there. We need him.
You've been accepted, Crash, because why be cute?
Yeah. Damiani thinking too hard, dude.
I can't come up with anything.
You can't come up with a PlayStation game?
Ratchet's weapons.
Everything's not exclusive. So like Cloud's not exclusive. He's on PC. That was 7 was
He's
on
in.
PC.
Sorry, dude. Cloud's in. We put him
On
in.
PC. It was
Yep.
on PC.
No, it's okay. We put him in.
Okay.
Wrap it up. Cloud's in.
It came out on PC a long time after.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I thought it came out like
No,
only.
it didn't come
years.
out a long time after.
Yeah. As I tried to actually play it. So I didn't have a PlayStation. I tried playing on PC first.
You know who's cool? I don't know his name, Sir something from Medieval.
Sir Daniel? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yeah. Get him in there.
Yeah, he's cool.
That's Damiani's pick.
There it is. Lock it in.
Over Ratchet?
Yeah, definitely over Ratchet.
We have too many talking weird animals already.
Yeah, Hubert.
Yeah, it was like a
Lombaxes
full year
suck.
later.
Lombax suck.
You're right, dude.
They do, dude. Lombaxes
Go play
suck.
Crack in Time and tell me Lombax is suck.
They do.
Ratchet's great. This makes no sense.
Get out.
There are a ton of great Ratchet games.
Look, Clanks are great. Little robots, those are great. But Lombaxes, I don't want it on our team.
Oh, man.
Can we have Clank up? We can put Clank on the team.
No. We're putting Ratchet on.
Yeah,
Why be
Ratchet's
cute?
there. Not either.
We're putting Ratchet on.
We need those weapons.
Somebody has to resist.
Yeah.
Our next question comes in from Robert. Hey guys, I just wanted to use this spot to remind everyone how funny it was to see the convinced media gamers language in the Mario and Rabbids leak, and then see everyone mock said language, and then proceed to watch Ubisoft press conference and do that at E3. Yeah,
Kyle had a
there was
good point on
absolutely-
this.
What's up?
You had a good point on this.
Oh yeah, the convince the media is the month after E3.
They haven't convinced us yet.
Right. Yeah. So like that was not part of the convince media phase actually. So your observation isn't that funny.
I mean, while I liked the Ubisoft press conference a lot, I still think that language was funny, I guess. I don't know. All of those, the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation itself is still.
I loved it. I loved having access to that. Just seeing.
Well, I
the
loved having
marketing
access
plan.
to it,
Yeah,
but I
that
didn't.
was-
I don't know.
Because Ben, I just feel like that exists for almost every game. I feel like there's a marketing presentation for almost every game we play, and obviously we never see those. So it was so cool to see how they're handling it.
It is. It's fascinating to see it, but I always hate seeing games reduced that way, where it's like, how can we boil this down in the most simple, sellable way possible? Like, I want to see that developer getting emotional on stage. That's what's going to sell me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to tell them, how big the world is or what other games it's like. It's part of the job, and I understand that it needs to be there, but it's just, it sucks all the life out of it.
Yeah, one of the things that happened with those crazy marketing decks is, when Shane was heading up editorial at GameTrailers, he also had have a big hand in all of the marketing meetings and all of that kind of stuff, and like deal with the editorial integrations, things that we could do or wouldn't do and all of that. And he got this giant fat marketing deck, I think for Assassin's Creed 3, that just like laid everything out there, just like spoiled everything that he didn't want to know. He was like so upset over it. But that's how those leaks happen. It's just like they just make giant books full of everything to get people to try to find ideas that they can help sell it.
Yeah, poor communication between the marketing and development teams. But I mean, that's their jobs. It's hard to tell the marketing teams they don't know better, and it's so weird. It's such a weird thing.
Next question is from. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was dismissive of the question. I think it is very funny that the media did not need much more convincing beyond a great trailer and a great demonstration.
Yeah,
I agree.
Next question is from
on stage.
Ulf himself. He says, "Hello, allies. What are some of your favorite Easter eggs in games? Mine are the crashed whale and bowl of petunias in Fallout 2."
ooh,
Frostmourne in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That's a good one.
That big field in Warcraft in the top left of Kalimdor, I think, near the Undercity, that was just like a giant football field of nothing. It was just like the same, just a flat forever. And you could just hop your way up that mountain and get there. And then Cataclysm retconned it, and it's gone.
That freaking 3D shooter thing that you used to be able to access in Microsoft Excel. What the heck was that? That was amazing. It was like Doom Light in Excel.
I always love the dead assassin in Witcher 2 that looks like Altair laying on the ground.
Yes. Next to the barrel, right, Brad?
What?
He's like next to the hay barrel.
Yeah, he like missed it.
Yeah.
In Metal Gear Solid 3, after you get tortured and you like fall asleep and you have that dream and you're playing that weird action RPG.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, that one's so good.
Yeah. That is
Only
Give
if
me
you
that game.
and it's only if you load your save at that particular
right.
moment.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
so easy to miss it.
Yeah. That
I've
one
never
was
played that. Yeah.
crazy.
Aren't there the Ape Escape monkeys in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got its own mode. It's in
Okay.
subsistence.
Oh, okay.
And it's sick. It's really good, Brad. I'm sorry. I'm struggling to think of a good Easter egg. What's up, Damiani?
So as a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing finding Samus and Link in Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, this is so good.
Oh, dude, we're in Link and Samus are in Donkey Kong Country 2 when you
Oh, yeah,
go to the game show.
And
Oh,
Sonic's shoes were like next to the trash can or whatever, like Nintendo trolling.
Any other good Easter eggs?
How about
Kyle's
Big Sky
gotta know
in
one,
GTA
man.
5?
Sure,
Damiani.
that's quite an Easter egg.
Come on, Kyle.
No, I don't have one, guys. I really don't have like a thing where it's just like I loved when they put that in there. I don't have that.
What?
Right now. Yeah,
No, that
I don't
you
have
like
that.
to-
Right now.
Oh, that's
I
right.
just had a hard time thinking of one
ridiculous.
earlier. So
it's like in your
you're the
DNA,
secret
man.
Master.
The Secret Master.
Yeah, you love secrets in
There's
video
no
games.
Tetris Easter egg, Kyle, you can think of.
No, there are none. And basically, I mean, like, there's the Brawn, but I don't know if that counts as an Easter egg. You know what I mean? Like, the Easter eggs we talk about generally are like context breaking. They're like, hey, isn't this a cute little wink and a nod to another universe that's not part of this one? And so, like, generally, I don't enjoy them too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The tease in God of War, like the map thing.
Here we go, baby. You're talking
Also-
teases.
Yeah.
Hubert.
Also,
My
Batman.
favorite Easter egg is Batman.
Hell yeah.
The tease for Arkham City.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yep,
That's a good
that,
one.
I think that might be my favorite. Is it's within the universe, and it's a huge, hard to find tease of the sequel.
that had a good
similarly-
one for you, Kyle.
What's up?
Bad Boys.
What Easter eggs are in Bad Boys? Oh, well, yeah, that's like a secret. I don't know if that's an Easter egg. Yeah, absolutely. The pigeon. It's good. It's good.
Apparently, there's still secrets in Arkham Knight that have not been discovered.
Really?
Crazy to me.
Like, no, they're not though.
Dude, it took years to find all the ones in Asylum and City.
Yeah, I guess.
That's not that old.
All right.
Like, people were finding stuff years later. I believe it.
Next question comes in from Bradley. Bradley Spies. Okay, allies, quick question, rapid fire answer. First thing that comes to mind. We're just going to go boom, boom, boom down the line here. I'll start, and we'll do Huber, Damiani, Kyle, Brandon, Blood, and Brad. What new developer / publisher, etc., should have a press conference next year who hasn't this year? CD Projekt Red. Huber.
Naughty Dog.
Damiani.
Atlas.
Okay. Kyle.
Square Enix.
Brandon.
Disney.
Blood.
Devolver.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Ouch! What a burn.
Can I change mine to Capcom?
Yes.
Yeah?
Huber, yes.
Change.
Yes.
Brad.
From Software.
Boom.
Boom.
That's a good
Boom.
E3. That's a really good E E3.
Just press conferences all day, every day. Missile Mage asks, when first getting started with a career, it can be difficult to deal with criticism, especially if it's overly negative or unhelpful. How do you deal with criticism in your careers, and have you worked out any methods over the years of dealing with it?
I read less comments.
Yep.
Boom.
Straight up.
First answer nails it.
Yep. I try to read all of my tweets. I feel like if somebody really wants to get a hold of me or say something constructive or, something of value, they tweet me. Whereas, drive-by posting on like a review or my show or something like that is intense. So
Yeah. The thing that I've learned, like, super, super slowly, agonizingly slowly, is that the more time that you spend looking at that stuff, the more that you're going to, like, view pretty innocent things in a negative light. Whereas, like you were saying, if you read less comments, it's far easier for me to be like, oh, that was just a joke, or, oh, like they didn't mean it that way. Maybe it could be interpreted this way. Because if you're just constantly miring yourself in it, I think you're going to assume the worst out of people instead of the best. And that's not a good perspective to have.
I do read all my comments from my show because that's such a different beast. It's like my show, people watch me and we talk about games. So I do read those, but like for reviews, then like, I don't know. I think of like Prey recently, and for the longest time, people wanted to know how long a video game was. That's a big thing for like buying a game. It's like, all right, how long is this? Is it worth my $1? So I started putting in the like how long it would take me to finish a game. I really started doing that in all my reviews. And then for whatever reason in Prey, there was this one comment who was like, 12 hours, like I'm like 20 hours in and I'm not even done with the game. Like, why are you lying about this? Like, blah, blah. And it was just like so intense and like so negative. And I was just like, yo, that's how long it like took me to finish. Like, I don't know. Do you want me to like lie about how long it took me to play? So then I started like second guessing myself. It's like, should I just stop putting the length of how long it takes me to finish a game in the review? So it's like one comment is directly affecting how I do my job in the future. So it's like for a review, it's, it's good to take criticism and it's such a fine line because it's like, once I do it and write it and put it out there, like it's done. So I don't know what value reading comments about it does. It's just such a fine line because there is constructive criticism, but at the same time, like that review's done. It's in the past, move on to the next. So, I don't know.
Any other methods?
I don't know if it's a method or if it's just experience. I don't know. It's just, I do read far more comments than I probably need to. I read the majority of the comments. But yeah, I just kind of see through everything to, I don't know, figure out like what I identify with as an actual thing that needs to be addressed and what is just, it's like, no, that's not a problem. You know, it just like, and then people that are just gonna like scream into the wind about whatever. Like, if there's something I can correct them on, then I will, and otherwise I just, you know, I'll let it go unless they're actually attacking somebody else. But there's a lot of people in there that just have questions or just don't know exactly how something works or whatever, and just sometimes just a little bit of clarity can totally shift their perspective on things.
For sure.
Blood, I think you're best in the biz of that stuff, to be honest with you.
100%.
I've like read in a like way so more than once have I gone through the comments in a review, someone talking major shit on me or my review, and it's like Bloodworth to the rescue, like correcting them. It's awesome. Sheriff Bloodworth.
He's always got sufficient evidence to back up what he's saying. Like, it's not just it's not an impulsive response. Like, it's like, no, you were wrong. Here's why. Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's the thing. That you have to not say things.
Right.
Sometimes, like, if you've got to realize that everybody can read what you're writing, and you have to write to that audience, not just to the person that you're talking to. Getting into a shouting match with a commenter is a bad idea.
Yeah, that's such a thing, because I feel like, even, for example, the guy's talking about game length or something. Sometimes I feel like even a response to a complaint is immediately hostile, because you can't dictate tone on the internet. So just by responding to a mean-spirited comment, you are like engaging in an argument or being hostile right out of the gate. That's not a good way to look at it, but sometimes I just don't respond at all, because I feel like responding is antagonistic, even if I'm just trying to clarify something.
I like to be antagonistic, of course, but the question's like getting started. You know what I mean? Like, getting your start out, and you know, we say this a lot. I say this a lot: is that you're going to suck for a long time. In a lot of ways, I still suck at most of what I do, and sometimes the mean comments aren't wrong, and that's the hardest thing to accept. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's really just about getting better each time, and you'll feel better about the mean comments if you do get better. If you are, like Ben said, just working hard. He's proud of that first thing he put up because he worked hard on it. And like, yeah, somebody can come in and say, Ben, this sucks, but it's not going to affect him because he says, whatever, I worked hard on it and I've grown since then. That's not indicative of who I am. And so, yeah, just be cool with sucking. Be cool with making bad stuff for a long time as you start your career, as you start making videos and writing and things like that, because we're all growing and we're all bad. None of us are good.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the truth that basically, like, the bigger you get, the more hate you're going to get. And you just have to learn to not let that stuff get to you.
Kyle, I completely agree with what you're saying, man. Like, that really struck a chord with me, because I think the things that I get most upset about, that I stew on, that I feel like compelled to reply to, are a lot of times a few days later, I'll think about it again, and I was like, that person was right. Like, they said it in a really mean and aggressive way, but they were right. Like, that could have been better. It could have been better in like some very obvious ways, and I need to accept that. And yeah, you're right. The things, the moments when you recognize that you could have tried harder and didn't, are the times that hurt the most. And I think as long as you're willing to grow from it, you're going to be able to move past that stuff. Because the point isn't the comment. The point is to get better. Like, it doesn't start and end at that, what that person said about you, whether it's positive or negative. Like, if somebody's praising you, like, you can't just be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm doing a good job now, and then stop. You have to try to apply even the harshest stuff and somehow turn that into fuel into figuring out how to get better.
One of the other things I've been thinking about lately too is just like get your community off YouTube. Like, you know, like having a website is not the easiest thing in the world. Building a forum is not the easiest thing in the world, but like maybe start a Discord, or like just take questions on Twitter, or like, we're lucky because we have the Patreon, because I think if you have the ease of use with YouTube, that it's just like, I can type something and I can ruin your day and, 20 letters done, versus like, oh, I got to go somewhere else and then post something to communicate to you, I'm so much less likely to do it. So if you're actually taking like constructive criticism, if you're actually thinking like, I'm reading this because I want to get better and I want to take these notes to apply them to get better, if it's any other place than YouTube, I think that'll work out a lot better for you. Because it's just so easy to not even have watched the video and just like want to ruin somebody's day. So don't take that stuff too seriously.
Our next question comes in from DRD 7 of 14. Hello there, allies. So about a month or two ago, at least by the time you guys go live, Destiny Original Sin 2 showed off its GM mode, which will include an incredible diverse tool set for a four-person campaign run by the GM. I was wondering if you'd consider running a future campaign, either experimental or long-term, parallel to Tabletop Escapades using this game. It requires everyone to have their own computer, of course, so maybe it'd be better served via Google Hangouts or something similar to how Final Fantasy XIV streams / play sessions are handled. But down to the meat of it, this game is hella customizable for peeps to make their own campaigns, maps, and all. If you could make your own game, or if someone made it for you, what would be your dream campaign?
Does it have to be within Destiny 2?
No.
Divinity.
Divinity.
Oh, sorry,
No.
Divinity 2. Divinity 2.
If it just the real question is if you could make your own game, or someone made it for you, what would be your dream game, dream campaign, dream story mode? I just want to touch on the Divinity Tabletop Escapades thing really quick. I think maybe it would be fun to do a one-off episode of Tabletop Escapades or like a bonus episode of Tabletop Escapades with that tool set. Committing to another full campaign right now seems like a bit much, especially for something that none of us are familiar with. Not saying that it's necessarily going to be obtuse or whatever to deal with, but yeah, it would be fun. I just think like that sort of long-term project for me personally, I don't want to speak for the other allies, but might be a bit much at the moment.
Oh yeah, and I mean people like Tabletop Escapades for the performances, and here we're going nuts on something that was unexpected, which can't happen in Divinity 2. And so I think it wouldn't make as entertaining as a program.
I think it would make for a fun stream though.
Yeah, I agree.
That's like a more one-off thing to me.
Yeah. But do we have any dream campaigns, dream story modes? Would you, if you could make it, or who would you have make it for you?
Guillermo del Toro.
Just by himself?
Make me a D&D campaign. Can you imagine? The creative genius, the creative storytelling. Just, I can't, like, if that guy was a DM, next level. Let me go into your mind, Guillermo.
Kojima would be pretty sweet to make your campaign.
The new Kojima game, you get to like come out in front of everybody and go, "This is about me."
Yeah.
All this weird stuff. This is me.
What I like about a Kojima style campaign, and this is the kind of campaign I would like, is there's one night. There's like a huge ticking clock from the beginning, and you have 8 hours basically to what was our movie about? We had to get into somebody's pool. Do you remember a movie? With the Easy Allies movie is a heist movie where we have to get into some actor's pool. Do you remember the actor?
No.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget.
Like Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas is a good pick.
Yeah, let's just say Michael Douglas.
So the campaign is we have 8 hours to get into Michael Douglas's pool. I would like to play that game.
It's pretty awesome.
I want a D&D campaign based off of the Yellow Submarine movie where you play as all 4 of the Beatles and you journey through Pepperland.
Dude.
And fight blue meanies.
Oh, what are their abilities?
And like
that's good.
Ringo's just the weakest out of all 4 of them for the start of his stats and everything like that.
Is it like a
Like one of them's got the hole in the pocket, and one of them like
Yeah.
where like he starts out really weak, but if you put the time in,
Yeah, because
Does it
then
come
you
super
can get
strong?
Jeremy like the buddy system, and like 2 characters form into one.
Yes. Yes, Brad.
Yes.
I want Nintendo to make an Easy Allies Animal Crossing, where you guys are the villagers in town.
Who would be the Tom Nook?
Bossman.
Damiani. Bosman doesn't care enough.
Okay,
He's
so
out of Damiani's Rossetti.
I have another idea for like a Battle of the Bands tabletop game, and like how dice rolls would work for like writing music, and I think that could be kind of fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah, like here you play a simple like tune, or here you throw in an extra like arpeggio or something.
Yeah, and I have to
Spice
roll
it up.
to see if like I pull it off, or like if
Yeah.
I miss a note or something.
Do you
like
mess
that.
up the solo?
Yeah. You know what? That just totally wouldn't work because you need to hear the stupid music they're creating. I just
feel
love
like-
the Country Bears. I love the idea of like getting the band back together. So that's what it is. It's a tabletop game where you have to get the Country Bears back together.
Okay.
Weird idea, but I was thinking of like a campaign where basically you're trying to go out on a quest, but you have to gear up. You have to get your weapons. You have to get your supplies, your armor, and each one of us is a different shopkeeper, and you've got to negotiate with us to get your tools. And so, like, you never even actually play the quest. Like, going out of town is the end of the game.
Whoa.
I definitely had the least creative answer here. That's really good. I wonder what we would all sell. Huber would sell axes exclusively, maybe, and shotguns.
I want to sell scrolls that like have nothing on the inside.
Would you try to pretend that they did?
Yeah, like if you can't read this yet, it means you're not ready.
Okay,
I think I would definitely be like a map salesman.
Nice.
sure. Damiani, dream game. I see you nodding over there. Something's
I
cooking.
was laughing at Kyle, but you know what? I want to make something that would make Kyle make him feel unsettled. Let's go with Stephen King, and he's gone already. Let's do Langoliers.
Nice.
I want us to be stuck in the past.
Yeah.
We have to figure out a way to get back to the present. And we're stuck at E3, and it's like the past, and all the game stations are there, but like we can't see what they are yet. And we're like, no, we're at E3, but like the games are here, but we can't play them. How do we turn them on? And we gotta like figure out a way to make it come to speed up to the present.
Wait, so
And we can play the game. The new games are there.
the games are there, but they're just not
Like
on, and you can't.
there's no power in the past. So like, they were in the past, everything's been consumed, like in the Langoliers universe. So like the TVs wouldn't be able to turn on and stuff. So like we're there too soon, basically. So we're there like a few days before E3 is supposed to begin. And we're in the show floor, but like we try and turn on the TVs, the consoles, there's no power. But we can see the signs and everything. We're like, oh man, Bloodborne 2. We're gonna play. And you gotta play it.
Or you're on like
Brad's just
midnight
no,
on Sunday
I
or
gotta
something.
play it.
Langoliers is a really good pull, Damiani. I mean, anyone else would be like Cujo, you know what I mean? But like, you got some good pull. I like that.
A Cujo RPG.
It's always
Cujo.
It's always Cujo. You're right.
It's always Cujo. Yeah,
Every
Damiani
time.
he went for the deep dive.
Every time Cujo.
What Stephen King books do you like? Cujo.
God.
It's always Cujo. Next question. We're running out of time here very quickly. Christoph asks, hi, Alice. I would like to ask the question, with Box Peak funded and being a one-time thing, wouldn't it spawn more projects like this if it's a success, and how would you fund them? I see Patreon as a monthly subscription where the money that comes in there goes specifically to support these projects. Whereas I would have rather seen another way to fund this, and if it's a big success, make it a tier and then incorporate it into it afterwards.
The reason it's not that is so I can spend as much time as I want on it. And so if it did become a tier where like we promise that there will always be some sort of series, I don't know. I wouldn't want that. That pressure is intentionally not applied to it. So I don't know. I can't speak for the whole panel, but like maybe, I don't know, like Easy A Masterpiece Theater and we each take turns making a series, like maybe, but like I think I love the idea of like I can commit to this, I will deliver this for this, and making that more generic or general I think is kind of dangerous, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely room for specific shows make more sense as a season to, you know, put all your efforts in, especially like during the summer when there's not as many games to cover, and you can do that. You can focus your efforts on that. Whereas if it became a monthly thing, it could be really difficult to keep up with it and deliver it.
Like, kind of funny. Another very popular video game centric Patreon. When they did their animated series, when they funded that, they just said this entire month, all of the money from Patreon is going toward our series because that's how much it costs. And, you know, those are still rolling out today. It's like, it's so hard. It's so hard to pre-schedule that kind of thing. And so, I don't know. It's just risky. It's not as simple as it might sound to just say like, okay, and if at 47, we'll always give you every month a new series. Like that'd be over-promising for sure.
Definitely. Next question comes in from Mike Hook. Hey, allies, some of you are really comedic. Where did you get your comedic chops from? And how do you feel about how humorous you are?
Damiani, why don't you go ahead and start off with this one?
Kyle.
See that? That was the humor right there. See what he did?
Kyle listens on delivery. So go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, why don't you enlighten us, Kyle?
Enlighten us, Mr. Bossman.
Funniest guy in the room.
Funniest guy in the room.
Cracking up at himself, laughing at his own jokes like Dennis Miller.
You know what? I think that is like, I laugh at myself so much, especially during Tetris, where like I think my own stuff is funny. That's a bad thing. You shouldn't ever do that. But as long as you're having fun, I think that comes off as humorous. I think that humor doesn't come from great jokes. Humor comes from sincerity and truth in my own way, which is why like Devolver isn't funny to me. You know what I mean? Like it started off funny and then just like ended with like, wouldn't it be funny if the head exploded and it looked totally fake? It's like, no, that's not the truth of the, you know, whatever. Where do my chops come from? You know, I've taken improv classes and sketch writing classes, and I did stand-up club in college. You know what I mean? And so there is some of it that's like taught for sure.
I have no comedic background whatsoever, and I don't even watch comedies.
Comedy's terrifying, man. Comedy's the hardest thing in like the kind of personable hosting type video making that we do that I can think of. I remember there's a lot of things that other people have done that I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Gosh, I've done that. And like, I remember when I first saw like Honest Trailers, I was like, yeah, good job, guys. Like that's a great idea. That's just such an obviously funny thing you could do with trailers. And boy, do I not have the chops to write that well and cut that well. So kudos to them. Comedy is extremely hard.
Yeah, but so Jones, think of like a stream, right? When the people are laughing the most at Jones, I think it's when you just cut to the truth of something. You make a statement that is just cutting, and it's like, that's hilarious and true. You know what I mean? Jones doesn't really like pull out jokes, and well, your jokes are solid too. But like, I think the funniest stuff Jones does is like tell the truth. He's mad at somebody for like keeping a salad on the PC. Like Jones pointing that out is the funniest thing. And you're right. And Yoshi, like Jones just getting so mad at Yoshi is so funny.
Poor Yoshi.
Poor Yoshi.
Just doing his best.
Yeah. Just trying. I want to play against it. Anytime I play Jones in Smash in the future, I'm being Yoshi exclusively. We're just all
Probably gonna love that game.
Jones,
probably
it looks
gonna dearly
good,
love that
dude.
video
It
game.
looks good.
Yeah, that
man.
game looks
Yeah.
chill.
You should review
Yeah.
it. You should give it a score.
The jolliest thing ever, and I'm just like, get the hell out of here, Yoshi.
Next question, going to be our last one for today. Andreas asks, hello, allies. Microsoft had a hard time selling the virtues of the Xbox One X at E3 with the games that were there, just as Sony struggled to justify the PS4 Pro back in the day. Do you think that this will influence mid-generation hardware changes in the future, or won't there be any? How do you really make these things fly off the store shelf?
We disagree on this. I think that this is the final version of anything called Xbox One, and that the next box will be called something else. Xbox One will not be a part of it.
I agree.
I think that they worked too hard on the Xbox One X, frankly. And it makes no sense to make it as powerful as it is if it will always have to run Xbox One games. No, if the Xbox One will always have to run X games. And so it's just so weird to me. I think it's like pointlessly strong. And the idea is that, no, eventually they'll phase out one and then X and the next thing will play all the new games. If that happens, I'm outraged. I'm super mad they named it Xbox One X. Yeah, it's weird. Sony's already said, no, we're making a PS5. Don't get confused. It's not like the generations are done. I just hate hearing that. Generations are done. They're not. There's going to be a PlayStation 5 and that will be a new generation.
Will there be a PlayStation 5 Pro?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just going to continue like this, at least for the foreseeable future, where there's a new generation, and then like the half step.
Yeah, the marginal upgrade.
Yeah.
Do you think the story in the Xbox One X is already written? Do you think its fate is decided, even though it's not out?
Yep. I think it'll do well. I think it'll sell well. I totally do. But I don't think it's like changing the dynamics of how this industry will work.
Yeah, I think that both systems are very much meant to be the premium models. I don't think anyone's concerned about them flying off store shelves, honestly. I think that they're there for that 4K market to be able to like show off their games. I mean, like just look at E3, like Assassin's Creed Origins. Here's what the game looks like on Xbox One X. What is it going to look like on my system? I don't know, but hey, look how good it looks. You know, so it's one of those kinds of things where they can just easily do that, show off the best face, even if not everybody has that. But I do think going forward, like whatever Microsoft's next machine is, like it will play everything that's on these systems and past systems. It's just going to be a question of when the systems we have now can't play the new games. Like that day will have to come, and I'm very curious to see how they handle that.
Well, I think it'll be like PC style too, right? So like the Xbox One X is your game with high settings. Your Xbox One is your game with low or medium settings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll always be able to play them until the next generation. It's just a matter of how good.
Well, that's what I mean. Like Xbox is kind of talking about not having generations in a way, and putting 360 and original Xbox games on the system is sort of part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, the hardware is going to get too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Huber. I think people believe that the Xbox One, as it is now, will play the games that we're playing 10 years from now. And like, I think that's just like, no.
Yeah, no way.
Right. And so, yeah, I don't think that it's changing too much. I think the Xbox One X isn't a monster. I don't think it's a monster. I don't think it is everything it's been advertised to be. It is the most powerful console of all time, absolutely. It's not a new console.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny that they say it's the most powerful console of all time, because isn't every new console the most powerful console of all time?
Yes.
Every time a new console comes out?
No.
I guess the Switch,
you definitely were not.
The Switch wasn't.
You're right. I'm talking Sony and Microsoft.
Right.
Like every time a PlayStation comes out, or a Pro, or an Xbox One, or...
Why it's a huge deal they can say that, Huber, is that they've been not the most powerful console for this whole entire generation.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Xbox One came out more expensive than the PlayStation 4, and it was weaker, and that was the most embarrassing thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the PlayStation 4 Pro has made a case for itself at its price tag?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that it's 400. I think a lot of us assumed it would be more, and then I think a lot of us assumed the 1X would be 400 because of the PlayStation 4 Pro. It sold well. There was a lot of 4 Pros sold. I think they said 20%. So 1 in 5 is a PlayStation 4 Pro. I think that's perfect.
So if the Xbox One X was $400, that would our tone be different?
Oh my God, for me, Ben, yeah, and I think for the general perception as well. Honestly, I think 500 is just too much. 500 is a lot of money. 400 is a lot of money, yeah, but it's relative to what we can expect when buying a new console. 500 is just past that point.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing though, is this is more of a long-term thing. Like I think like last generation, I think generation is stretching out to be longer and longer, and I think that these systems are part of that. And so I don't think they're really worried about everyone jumping in now at $500 because it's our new platform and everything's riding on it. It's not. It's like it's going to be $500 for the people that want to get it right now. And then it's going to just still be there, and it's going to come down in price, and eventually it'll get to a price that you will want it, and eventually it'll get to a price that somebody else will want it. So
does anyone,
go ahead, Hubert.
I was going to say, does anyone think that they could have had it be $400, but they chose 500 to have the image of it being more powerful and more intense than it actually is?
I think they designed that box for that price point.
I think so too. And the thing is, I think they spent a ton of money on R&D. I think they spent a lot of money developing this thing, which is scary. It's scary to me, Blood. I hear you, but I think that by the time the 1X is cheap, the PlayStation 5 will premiere, and it will show you games that you can't play on the previous generation, and the 1X will already look old.
When do we see that PS5 announcement?
I think teased next year's E3, and I think the year after that, PS5
I
debut.
don't think it's that soon.
Why not?
Because the last generation was long enough. Like developing and producing new hardware is super expensive. PS4 is riding high right now. I think they're gonna ride out these generations as long as they can.
I agree. I don't see the incentive right now with how the PlayStation 4 is going to announce the PS5 within the next year.
I think it's like a tech side incentive. I think it's like the consoles are getting too old too fast. I don't think they put enough in the base consoles, in the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and I think developers are getting frustrated with that. And I think they just, because they went soft on tech, this generation has to be shorter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Kyle. I could see it coming out like 2020, 2019.
Yeah, baby.
PS5. Will Knack 3 launch
Thinking
on
that's
PS5?
We'll get Knack 3 this gen.
I hope the next Knack game is just called Knack
Currently in
Forever,
development.
and it's an MMO.
And we all love it. We all
love it.
Damiani quits.
I mean,
Knack for
I
all.
was just gonna do the same thing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You are Knack. That's what it's called.
It feels fitting, I guess that we're ending a Q&A on Knack.
Dude, Knack 2 is hype. I don't care what anyone says.
No. I'm not commenting on the quality of Knack. I'm commenting on our reiteration of it. Thank you, panel, for answering the questions. Thank you, viewers, for answering them. If you are part of the $20 and up Patreon tier on patreon.com/easyallies, you can ask a question for the next month. That post is going to go live on Monday, June 26th. This is going to be the July post at noon. June 26th at noon, the July Q&A post for $20 and up patrons is going to go live. So if you want to ask a question, that's your chance to do so. They're going to be answered in the order that we received them, as always.
Hey, Ben, I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Who is your favorite Dragon Ball character?
My favorite Dragon Ball character? Future Trunks is my favorite Dragon Ball character.
Boom.
Because, I don't even care. I don't have, some elaborate reason for Future Trunks being my favorite character. I remember seeing him as a kid, thinking that his sword was awesome, that his jacket was cool, and he cut the shit up out of Frieza, who up until that point was the most intimidating villain in the entire series for me. I was just like, yep, you win. Like, you're my favorite character.
I need to know why that question happened right now.
Because I wanted to end on a Dragon Ball anime note.
Okay, cool.
You wanted to end because of Knack, or just like that's the vibe you were going for?
Well, I had asked a lot of people at E3, and I didn't get to ask you, so I just wanted to know Ben's favorite character.
Who's your favorite Dragon Ball character? I don't think I know.
If I'm being like truthful and honest, Nappa.
No, you're being cute when you say Nappa.
No, dude. Nappa rules, man.
You're being cute, dude.
He just gets
He's rejecting your pick, man.
Dude, Nappa takes on the entire Z Fighters by himself, dude. Tell me one other person who does that.
The Z Fighters are irrelevant, but
yeah, I think there are a lot of
Piccolo too.
Frieza.
I mean, I love Piccolo, but there are a lot of characters that like destroy Piccolo in that series.
I'm just partial to the Saiyan Saga because everyone gets to fight and everyone's on equal footing, and that's why I really like Nappa. Is because like I always love like the main henchman sidekick. Those are always my favorite type of characters, and I love how that's set up where it's like, all right, I'm here. Like you got to get through me to get to Vegeta, and then just one-on-one.
Wait,
battles.
hold on. Equal footing, dude? Half of them fight like weird guys that grew out of the ground. Like little...
Yeah, but at least they're in the fight, dude.
the Cybermen.
Yeah, they're fighting like guys that... It's like when they fight like the baby cell stuff, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, this
You're a
is
joke.
filler. This is the filler part of the
Oh my
fight.
God.
Yes.
No, you guys are so wrong. It hurts.
First
of all, the show was supposed to end after Frieza. So if you want to talk about Little Cell Juniors, that's actually filler, not
That wasn't even my
Cybermen.
point, dude. I was talking about how there's stupid like side characters that just come out of nowhere.
Dude, Cybermen are awesome. They used
Why?
to put them on planets to like help them take it over.
That's not that awesome.
I think it's cool, dude. I think they're like little henchmen.
No, Brad's right. They were the purpose of those characters is to give the other people, the weaker people, something to fight. That's the entire purpose of them.
Dude, it was a warm-up, man. You gotta warm up. Dragon Ball is always about the warm-up fighters.
Can I just say I love Jones's casual like piecing the fuck out, mic muted.
This is not the way to get Jones into Dragon Ball. This is not the way to get him in.
It's not it. Yeah, we're getting into rambling territory as much as I love it. We do need to settle it between Huber and Kyle, maybe in Dragon Ball Fighters. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll talk more Dragon Ball again at some point, maybe during the Gundam streams. All right, bye.